as you guys have seen in my videos, I'm not the biggest Colton Underwood fan. And not that I hate him or anything, not that I think he's an awful dude, just, not the biggest fan of him. And I didn't really want him to be the Bachelor. And yeah, so I have been watching his season of The Bachelor, as you have seen in my recaps. Didn't do a recap on episode 3 because I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I got a little bored. And yeah, I have a gist of what happened and stuff like that, and I still saw it, but usually I write notes on it so I could remember, and I'm just like, kind of worked out while watching it and was like, whatever. Like, it kind of happens to me like midway through the season. I'm just like ready for it to be kind of, I'm ready for it to wrap up. I mean, there's still funny parts and stuff like that that I enjoy, but it's just one of those shows that I like to do other things while watching it. I mean, unless it's like a really eventful season where I am totally enthralled in it, but maybe I'll get more enthralled in it as the season goes on. Who knows? Okay, so I really wanted to go into how my opinion changed on him, and honestly, my opinion didn't really change from watching the show, besides, when he sent Caylin home last episode 3, when he sent her home just because he noticed that they didn't have a connection. I really, really appreciate when the Bachelors and the Bachelorettes do that. I think it shows that they're there for the right reasons and they're not just looking at looks. They actually want connections with somebody, and I really admire that because I do think that you date to find the person that you want to marry, not just, for the hell of it. So yeah, I like that he did that, and I liked his one-on-one date with Elise, the red hair lady. I thought it was cute. I mean, if I were her at first, you could tell on her face when he's like, oh, this is gonna be a group date, and she's just kind of like, and she's an older lady, not that she's old or anything, but in comparison to the 23-year-olds of the group, she's older. And I think if I were her, I'd be like, so over this. Like, what do you mean it's a group date? It was a bunch of kiddos and yeah, children and stuff like that because of Colton's work in charity, and he's a big family guy. He really wants a family, he loves kids, and I think that's a good way to figure out if somebody else is into kids. Just, come on, man. The first date? That's a little bit brutal. All that pageant girl drama is ridiculous to me. I wish Colton would have sent one of them home. I know for the purpose of the drama of the show and, viewership and stuff, they keep it going so they could have the drama. Definitely Demi and Tracy drama is way more interesting than the pageant girl drama. I'm over it. It's just kind of like, move on. Hannah's not saying anything really interesting. She's not pleading her case really well. And obviously Colton already likes Caylin better than her, so I mean, she's doing nothing. I really liked Terry Crews and his wife were on the show, and that's awesome. I think he's an awesome dude, and it was just a fun, like, empowering date. I would have been freaked out with some of those things. Like, I would have really wanted to accomplish those tasks, but not sure if I would have been able to. Since Colton is the kind of dude that loves to work out, I think he definitely needs a female that will empower him to do so and even work out with him as well. It's something that you could do as a couple. That's it on episode 3. It was whatever to me. Okay, like, he sent home, actually, before I wrap that up, he sent home Catherine. So is she gonna get her dog back? Or I don't know. To me, it kind of seemed like she really wasn't into him that much anymore. She's like, it's not there. I'm not even gonna try that much. I'm just gonna sit here and see how long I last. It kind of seemed like she gave up, which is fine. I mean, you don't want to force a connection. Definitely, if I was on the show and I felt nothing, I'd just be like, okay, I'm not gonna force it and make a fool out of myself. So I'm gonna explain to you why I changed my opinion on him. Again, don't hate him, never hated him, but I was listening to Anna Faris's podcast Unqualified, and actually I really, really enjoy that podcast. I used to listen to it on my commute to work all the time. Now I don't really commute as much, so I don't really have time for podcasts. I was on my way to Disney. As you guys know, I did my Disney vlog, and I needed something to listen to on that 4-hour trip, and I listened to Anna Faris's podcast. I saw that she did one with Colton. I think she did 2 of them with Colton. It was like a continuation in the next one of some questions they answered. through phone calls with some of their listeners. And yeah, I kind of was like, ugh, do I really want to listen to something else with Colton? Because I already watched The Bachelor. And I'm like, is that too much Colton? I don't know. Like, I don't really care for him that much. So why would I do that to myself? But I eventually was like, you know what? Let me just give him another shot. Maybe I learned something about him that makes me, see more eye to eye to him, more, see more of himself and get more of a feel for who he is that isn't this, virgin bachelor persona. I do think Anna Faris is really good. Anna and Sim are really, really good at bringing out, I guess, more so the relatability and the humanity of these celebrities that, seem unattainable to us, that just kind of seem like in a faraway planet that we kind of just, we're like, oh, they seem cool, but we don't really know them. And yeah, they're a celebrity. They're not, down to earth or like me and whatever. So I listened to it and I really got more of an idea of who he is. I mean, yeah, I know he talks about like all his charity work and, loving dogs, and yeah, that's fine. Like, it's cool. Like, that's awesome. But I really like the way he spoke on it, and I think if you watch The Bachelor, I think you should listen to it because I think he has the right intention. I know he's very young, and I've said before that I think he could be a social climber and probably a little bit too immature to be married at this point or engaged. But after listening to it, I saw more of things from his perspective, and I totally agree with it. He states in the podcast that his goal when dating is to find a wife, which I think is a right way to look at it, because you could date around, but you have to kind of have like a goal and vision in mind, because I mean, that's the whole point of dating, is to find a partner. Maybe you don't believe in marriage, that's fine, but you want somebody for the long haul. You want somebody to grow old with and settle down with. Unless you're not at that point of your life and you just want to have fun and enjoy and just meet people, then that's totally fine. I think he has the right mindset, and I was like, I completely agree with that because I do the same thing. I don't like wasting anybody's time, and I don't like my time to be wasted. So if I date somebody, it's because I see the potential. I'm not going to just date somebody just for the hell of it, That's just not me, and I completely see that. And with him, I really like how upfront he is and straightforward. He showed that through his advice to the callers, and I'm kind of the same way. I don't tiptoe around things. I kind of make it known what I want, what my intentions are, and I expect the same. So I really admire that about him. I got to know more about his drive and how hard he worked in football and in life, and it was nice and admirable, Sometimes we forget that these athletes, the road is not easy. You sacrifice a lot and you work really, really hard, and you don't always get to that destination that you want to be at. And I thought it was really nice. You get to know more about him, and just in a casual setting of him chatting with Anna and Sim, who are, very relatable people. The people that they interview, they really get down to the core of who they are. I urge others to listen to it. I actually went on one of my morning commutes. I posted a picture of my coffee and of me listening to the podcast, and they replied back, and it was really, really sweet. So yeah, I urge you guys to listen to it. You might view him differently. You might not. Maybe you already like him. You already knew that. Sorry if I'm late to the party. But yeah, I think we sometimes forget that these people are people, not just celebrities, and that it's not necessarily all an act. He very well seems like he really wants to find a wife. I hope that he does find love, and I hope that it all works out. So yeah, that's how I changed my opinion on him, and now I view him differently. I have more respect for him. So now when I watch The Bachelor, I'm not just kind of hoping that it was somebody else. I'm kind of just appreciating him for who he is. So yeah, let me know if you listened to that episode of Unqualified, or if you listened to that podcast at all. Let me know your thoughts on Colton Underwood and if they've changed throughout the season. Yeah, and let me know what you think about episode 3. Are you excited for the rest of the episodes? And yeah, so yeah, that's it.